this video, we're going to add a shipping date to our e-commerce app with Django and Python. Hey guys, John Elder here from codemy.com, and in the last video, we added our order inlines as well as a shipped field that shows us whether or not the item has been shipped or not. In this video, we want to add a shipping date that shows when it was shipped. And this is a little bit complicated because we want that shipping date to appear in our database automatically whenever we click that shipped field. So when we click the little toggle button to true for shipped, we want a date to be added automatically. We don't want to have to manually enter it. So that's what we're going to set up in this video. So let's head over to our code. I'm using the Sublime Text Editor in the Get Bash terminal as always. And as always, you can find a link to the code in the pinned comment section below, as well as a link to the playlist with all the other videos in this Django e-commerce series. So check that out if you haven't so far. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where I have dozens of courses with thousands of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime membership. It's all my courses, videos, and books for one-time fee, which is insanely cheap. Okay, so I've got our models.py file open, and this is, let's see, our order model. And in the last video, we added this shipped field that has true or false, whether or not it's been shipped. And that's great. We can keep track of that. But we also want a date field so that we know when the thing was shipped. So anytime we click that shipped checkbox or button or whatever, however we set it up on the actual website, it will add the date automatically. So the first thing I'm going to do is come down here and let's create a new field in our database, and let's call this date_shipped. And this is going to be a models.datetime field. And we used one earlier when we put the order date. So whenever it was ordered, we put the date in here, and we set that to auto now add true. So anytime somebody checks out, it automatically adds the date for when they place that order. Here, we don't want to do that automatically. We only want this to occur when we click that little button. And in case you didn't see that other button, if we head over to our website, this is our Django admin section. If we go to orders and click on any order, we have this little checkbox here that says shipped, right? So that's what we're talking about. So it's unchecked by default. If we then ship the thing, we can come in here and click the thing. We'll build out an actual dashboard on the website later, but for now, we're just doing it in the Django admin area. Click save, and then it saves it. So what we want is underneath this to have, just like here, date ordered, we'll have the date shipped listed. So, we can keep track of when it was shipped because the customer might want to know. We might set up tracking. We might set up all sorts of things based on that date. So let's do this. So we come over here. We want models date time field. And like I said, we don't want to add auto now true, but we do want to add something. What do we want to add? Well, we want to add blank equals true because it can be blank. It will be blank by default. And we want null equals true as well because we've already got a bunch of these in there that don't have it listed. So we want to be like, okay, so we want to say, hey, it's okay for them to not have something there. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Now, this is a major change to our model. So we're going to have to make a new migration and push that. But before we do that, we need to set up a mechanism that sort of adds the date automatically because we don't want to do this manually because that's a pain. And also we can make errors. We might type the wrong date or the wrong time in. If it does it automatically, it's always going to be correct. Whenever we click that shipped button or checkbox or whatever, it will add the right time and date. So to do that, we're going to use our signals. And we've used this before, this post save. We're going to add a new signal here. This is post save after. We want a pre-save. So we can import that. That's from django.db.models.signals. We want to import pre-save. Now we also need a receiver, something to sort of listen for this. So let's go from django.dispatch. We want to import a receiver. And now we also need to keep track of the date time. So let's import date time. And this is just pure Python. It has a library for the date and time. So, okay, we've got that. Now let's come down here and underneath our order model here, let's tab this over and let's auto add shipping date. Okay, so we want to start by creating a receiver. So let's go at receiver. And inside of here, we need to pass the pre_save that we just imported right here, right? The signal. And we also want to set the sender to what model? What model are we doing this to? Well, we're doing it to our order model, right? That's just our order model right there. So, all right, we've got that. Now we need to create a little function that runs whenever we save this to save the stuff, right? So let's define, and we can call this anything we want. Let's call this set shipped _ date, maybe on update, something like that. That's a mouthful, but that's what we're doing. We're updating our record by clicking that shipped button, checkbox, whatever. And then what are we updating? The ship date. So let's set ship date on update. All right. And we want to pass in our sender. We also want to pass in our instance because that's what we're doing. We're editing the instance of that record. We're taking an order, right? That's the instance, the order that we're editing, right? So we need to pass that in. And we also need to pass in our quargs. And don't ask me to explain what args and quargs are. Nobody understands. That's not true. We just don't need to know what it is right now. So, okay, we've got our little function. What do we want to do? Well, let's get the primary key of the instance that we're trying to save. So let's go if instance.pk. That lets us know, hey, yeah, we are trying to save a thing here, right? Let's create a variable with the time, right? I'm just going to call it now because that's what it is. It's now. And this is going to be datetime dot now. And this datetime is the datetime we just imported up here. It has a little sub thing called datetime.now that gets the current time and date. Now this is important because we want the time and the date. You could just get the time, you could just get the date. We want them both. And to do that, we call datetime.now. So datetime.datetime.now. Let's also create a little object here of the thing we need to save. So now let's also create a little object here of our sender. And that's going to be the ._default_manager, just a sender thing. And we want to get the primary key of our current instance. So instance.pk, right? So we're saving a thing. This is how we're keeping track of the thing, the primary key, the ID number of the thing. And there we go. So now we need to say if our instance is .shipped, right? Which is this field right here. And by saying if shipped, that's saying if .shipped is true, which means we click the button to make it true, right? So we need to make sure that's true and not object.shipped, meaning our shipped is false by default. If it's not false, that means it's true, right? So, all right, we can do that. And what do we want to do? We want to set our instance.date_shipped, and we want to set that equal to now, which is our current date time. This instance date shipped is this new field we just created, right, with our date time. So we're saying, hey, if we change the shipped from false to true, then update the date with whatever the date and time is now, right? And that's it. So a little complicated, but not too bad, right? And that's kind of all there is to it. So let's give this a try. Let's test this out. Head back over here. And we've already got this guy. Oh, we can't test it out yet. Almost forgot. This is, like I mentioned earlier, a major change. This part right here is a major change to our model. All of this stuff we don't have to create a migration for. This is just coding behind the scenes. But this thing, we're fundamentally changing the model. We're adding another field. So we need to make a migration and push the migration. So let's head over to our terminal. Control C to break out of there. Let me clear the screen. And I'm in my C/ecom/ecom directory. My virtual environment up here is turned on. And let's run Python manage.py make migrations. Now it's plural. We're only making one migration, but that's how you do it. Make migrations. And it says it added field date ship to order. That's what we would expect. Now let's push that migration into the database. Let's go Python manage.py migrate. And we're good. So now let's go Python manage.py run server and see what we've got. See if that worked, hopefully. And if we come back here and hit reload, nothing has happened yet. This one was already shipped. So let's do a different one. Let's go to orders. Let's go to order 6. There's only one item in it. Let's click shipped. Let's click saved. Now go back to order 6 again. And it's not showing because in the last video we set up, let's go to our admin.py file. There it is. We set up all of our fields and we specifically enumerated each of them here. So we need to add this new date shipped. We go to this list. I'll just pop that on there and this needs to be in quotation marks. Save this. That should do the trick. Now if we head back over here, hit reload. Boom, now we have the date and the time. There it is. Now we can edit this. We probably don't want to, but it is editable. This one is not because it's just automatically created. This one is not automatically created. That's why we can edit it. You know, we're adding it later on. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Now let's go back to our first one over here, order 7. And you'll notice it's here. this one's clicked as shipped and there's nothing here, that's because we had already clicked this shipped button before we set up this whole mechanism. So if we unclick it, click save, come back over here, it's still blank. Now we click it again, click save, come back over here, check it out. This is correct. Now, this time may not be correct based on like where you're at right now. This is the server time, wherever the server is sitting. And right now it says 9:51. It is actually 9:51 a.m. where I am right now. And the date is correct. And yeah, we're good to go. It says you are 7 hours behind server time. I'm not sure what that's all about. We are not 7 hours behind server time. Maybe by server time it means like Greenwich Mean Time or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, again, we're doing all of this stuff in the Django admin area. Eventually here, we're going to create a dashboard on the website where the admin can log into that dashboard and have it nicer, so you don't have to use this Django admin system. But the guts are going to be the same. All of the mechanisms will need to work here in order for them to work on the website. And that's what we've done in this video, set up those mechanisms so that they're there in the future for when we build out our admin dashboard on the actual website. So date shipped, very interesting. And these things are relatively new. These senders, like, I don't know, a decade or so ago, we didn't have all of these signal things. So this is very useful for all sorts of different things. And we used it, obviously, like we did today. We've also used it in the past. Let's see, what did we create? Right here for our shipping address. So whenever we create a new shipping address, remember there was a problem. It wasn't auto-updating a previous user that already existed that didn't have a shipping address yet. So we created that. Go back and watch the playlist if you didn't see that. But very useful, these signals. And that's all there is to it. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime membership. So that's access to all my courses, over 60 courses, thousands of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 200,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.